Dear students of 9th standard, I prepared this video for the subject science at present. In the first class, I taught you regarding the motion. The chapter 8 just I complete, and this chapter is according to the syllabus of Ncert book. Okay, this chapter is for the aspirants. The whole chapter, whatever the chapter just I teach on YouTube, this chapter is beneficiary for the aspirants who are in CBSE course, ICSE course, and the State Board Government Schools course. So, dear aspirants, kindly concentrate. In first, I define the motion. In first stage, I define the motion and rest simply. Correct? So, just I recall you whatever the terms I taught you earlier, that terms is related to this chapter only. I taught you earlier that if any object changes its position with respect to time, with respect to a fixed point, correct, with respect to time and with respect to a fixed point, then the object is said to be in motion, correct. And on the other hand, if an object does not change its position with respect to time, with respect to a fixed point, then the object is said to be at rest, correct. So we can say that any object, any body in this universe is either in motion or at rest. Okay, now see, describing motion, just I describe you motion along a straight line. The next point is motion along a straight line, correct. When the motion of an object is along a straight line, then the motion of the object is called rectilinear motion, correct. That type of motion is called rectilinear motion. Okay, in the diagram, see here, an object changes its position according to the distance described in the diagram. Initially, the origin is taken as O. Okay, this origin, and at present the time is 0. The origin is taken as O and the time is 0. After some time, the object covers 5 kilometers, and as the time go further, as the time moves further, the position of the object or distance covered from the fixed point, it varies according to the given diagram. Position of an object on a straight line path, correct. Now see, here it is shown that what is distance and what is displacement, like this, correct. In this diagram, in this topic, we describe that distance and displacement, sometimes it is equal, it is equivalent, but sometimes it is different. Now see, according to this diagram, whatever we conclude here, suppose an object, which chapter just I teach you motion, okay, regarding this motion for the 9th standard, okay, according to Ncert book. This chapter is Ncert book. So, what is distance and displacement? Distance, in this point, it is described what is distance and what is displacement. And we have to find whether any difference is there or both are same. Suppose distance. What is distance? How can we define distance? The length of the path of travel of an object is called its distance. Distance covered by an object is equal to its length of the path on which it travels. Whether as displacement, it is the shortest distance. It is the shortest distance. Okay? How can we conclude? Suppose an object travels along a path like this. Initially, the object is at point A. After some time, it moves in such a way so that it is on the curved path and it reaches at the position B. Now, what is the distance? This is the distance, whatever the object or an object or the body covers. This is called distance. Okay. Now see, displacement will be always in a straight line, or it is the shortest distance. The length of this path is greater than the length of this path. Naturally, this is called displacement. That is why it is told that this distance is a scalar quantity. And this displacement is vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. Now just I tell you what is a scalar or what is vector quantity in few words. Okay, in short time I may define this. Now see, what is vector quantity and a scalar quantity? Regarding a scalar quantity, we define that quantity which has only magnitude. Magnitude means it has only magnitude. Okay, but in displacement we define that it is a vector quantity, and we define the vector quantity like this: a quantity which has both magnitude as well as direction. Then it is called vector quantity. Here displacement, because displacement is always in a certain direction. That means it has direction as well as it has magnitude. How can we tell? Suppose we tell that 10 meter is the displacement here. In such a case, we tell that distance is 15 meter. Okay, so in meter or centimeter, we measure the distance or displacement. It will have same unit. Here we see that if it is written that displacement equal to 10 meter, so this 10 indicates magnitude, and this meter indicates its unit. Okay, that means meter is the unit of displacement or distance, whatever it is. Kilometer, meter, centimeter, as the case may be. So in case of a scalar quantity, we see that at each and every point its direction changes, means it has no certain direction. But in case of displacement, its direction does not change. That is why it is called a vector quantity. Correct. Now see, Just we will have to study furthermore. Some activities are given in the book. You will have to read this and try to understand. Now it's see here. Whatever it is written, can the magnitude of a displacement be equal to distance traveled by an object? Of course, it can be equal. Consider the example given in figure 8.1. See here. In 8.1, it is talking, the writer is talking about that bit diagram only. For motion of an object from origin to A, from origin to A is the point, correct? The distance covered is 60 kilometers. As according to graph, we see that distance covered is 60 kilometers, and the magnitude of displacement is also 60 because the object moves in a straight line, correct? At first it is reaching at the C point, then at the point B, and finally it reaches at point A, correct? Thus we can tell that here in such a case distance is very equal to the displacement. That means distance and displacement here are equally in according to numerical value, correct? That means its distance is 60 kilometer and its displacement is also 60 kilometer, correct? So magnitude, see here it is written 60 plus 25 during its motion from O to A. Here O to A, O to A, here it is written O to A, the distance covered is 60 kilometer and the magnitude of displacement is 60. During its motion from O to A and back to B, now the body or an object reaches here and again it back at the position of B. See here. So regarding to find the distance here, at first we have to take this distance 60 and again this distance, correct? So how much it is? It is 25 in quantity, 25 kilometer. Naturally, during the finding of distance, we have to add 25 and 60 kilometer, then 85 kilometer is the answer. Okay? Displacement are used to describe the overall motion of an object and to locate its final position with reference to its initial position at a given time. The initial position is here, origin, correct? So in such a way, we will have to understand, you will have to understand you all and try to give the exercise inside question. See here. Regarding this question, an object has moved through a distance. Can it have zero displacement? Of course, it will have zero displacement. If yes, support your answer with an example. Just I support one example with answer. See, just I am going to describe it on the page. Correct? You should not be worried. Each and every point I teach for 9th standard, for 10th standard, and for the 11th, 12th standard. In 10th, just I put here videos in science subject, particularly in science, in chemistry, physics, and bio. Okay, and on the other hand, we see here the first question states that if yes, support your answer with an example. Suppose an object starts from O, correct, at the origin is here. Now it covers a distance OA and is it reaches here 60 kilometer. The distance described is in kilometer. Again it returned 25 kilometers. See here, 25 kilometer. Now its position is here, A dash, final position. Now we have to take the distance. So here distance will be how much? In this case, distance will be how much? It will be addition of, result of addition of 60 and 25. Distance covered equal to how much? 60 kilometer, again 25 kilometer. So our result is 85 kilometer. Correct. So in such a way, and if we have to find here displacement, what is numerical value of displacement in this case? See here, displacement, the final position and the initial position. Initial position is this one. Naturally, from 60, we will have to subtract 25 and we will get 35. So here displacement will be how much? 60 kilometer minus 25 kilometer, because this is the displacement, correct, from initial point and the final point, means the difference thereon. Now it is 35 kilometer. So in such a way, you will have to try to find the suitable answer. Finding any difficulty, you may send me on the WhatsApp number. And from the next week, from Monday next week, today is Monday also, and in the next week, I just start live class for 9th standard, 10th standard students, for all the classes, means 8th, 7th, 6th, like this, and for the higher classes also, for the 11th as well as for the 12th. So, dear students, kindly understand this and try to learn according to the given instruction. Okay, thank you.